It's a gamble that we're just going to have to take. We'll fire back up when the sun decides that it's summertime and make the best use of everybody that we free up.
Parker Schnabel just made the record books obsolete. We're not talking about a few thousand ounces of gold. We are talking about a discovery so monumental it's being valued at a staggering $80 million. This isn't just another successful season for the Gold Rush star. This is a life-altering jackpot found in a place no one dared to touch.
Good ground makes everything else just a minor detail. I will mine in if the ground's good.
But to get to it, he had to risk every dollar he had, push his crew to the absolute edge, and unlock a secret that had been frozen in time for thousands of years. Alaska's hidden waterfall of gold. Parker Schnabel stood on the edge of a frozen abyss, staring at a piece of Alaskan wilderness that had swallowed the dreams of countless miners before him. This wasn't just another claim, it was a legend, a place whispered about in hushed tones in the bars of the Yukon. They called it the Widow's Cut, a collapsed frozen mine shaft where the ground was rumored to hold a fortune but was considered an unforgiving death trap. To even think about mining here was crazy. To bet your entire operation on it was pure madness. But that's exactly what Parker did. He pushed $15 million of his own money onto the table, a sum that would bankrupt him 10 times over if he was wrong.
It's been an outrageously expensive spring. We've already spent more this year than we've ever spent in a season. We haven't even started.
You see, the thing nobody tells you about gold mining is that it's less about swinging a pickaxe and more about high-stakes geological chess. Parker had a secret weapon, an ace up his sleeve that gave him the confidence to make this terrifying bet. He had commissioned a team of geologists to run a sly survey using LiDAR technology, a system that essentially lets you see through the earth with lasers. The data that came back was electrifying. It pointed to something that shouldn't exist, an ancient, prehistoric waterfall system buried deep beneath the permafrost. The models predicted a gold concentration so vast, so incredibly rich, it was almost mythical. The estimated value? A mind-numbing $80 million. This was the kind of discovery that happens once in a century. A true generational fortune.
Holy right.
Is that it?
You are the chosen one. Check that out, what you just found.
Wow. That's so crazy.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
People aren't even going to believe watching this. Like, there's some more. Look at that.
But the data was just a ghost on a computer screen. The gold was still locked under thousands of tons of frozen dirt and rock. To get it, Parker had to launch a war on two fronts. He made the gut-wrenching decision to split his crew, a move that stretched his resources dangerously thin. One team would work their existing claim, desperately trying to pull in enough gold to cover the astronomical weekly costs of the operation. The second team, his elite squad, would tackle the Widow's Cut, embarking on a mission to thaw the impossible and unlock the legendary prize.
We're in a situation where there's a ton of work and unrealistic expectations from a boss that likes to have unrealistic expectations.
The pressure was immense. Every day, the operation burned through tens of thousands of dollars in fuel alone, enough to power a small town. A single D11 bulldozer costs over $500 an hour just to run. The clock was ticking, the bills were piling up, and the Alaskan winter was waiting to bury them all. He had just bet everything on a place that had broken better men. But technology and ambition mean nothing when the ground itself fights back. Waging war on permafrost. Many people are crazy about the gold weigh-ins you see on TV, but they don't show you the soul-crushing monotony that comes first. Parker's crew at the old claim was facing a spirit-breaking reality. They were moving literal mountains of dirt, thousands of cubic yards an hour, but the pay wasn't coming. The atmosphere grew tense. The crew was working under what they felt were unrealistic expectations from a boss who was sinking under the weight of his $80 million gamble. Meanwhile, the team at the Widow's Cut was in a brutal street fight with the permafrost. This isn't just cold dirt. It's a solid frozen mass as hard as concrete, and it's the single biggest challenge in Yukon mining. To have any chance of reaching the pay dirt, they had to thaw it, and that meant bringing in the mechanical monsters. The operation relied on two key pieces of machinery, two titans that would determine their fate: First was the Slucifer, a reliable if aging wash plant. But the real key to victory was Big Red, Parker's custom-built multi-million-dollar wash plant. This thing is a beast. At over 150 feet long, it's designed to process hundreds of tons of pay dirt an hour, separating the gold from worthless rock and sand. Assembling it on the unstable, frozen ground was a monumental task in itself. Using giant excavators and heavy chains, the crew had to maneuver the massive sections into place with surgical precision. One wrong move, one slip, and their season-making machine would be a heap of twisted metal. Just as they got Big Red running, disaster struck. A surge of oversized rocks clogged the system, causing a violent shudder before a crucial screen inside the machine tore apart. The mechanical heart of the operation had a heart attack. The entire mine went silent. Downtime is the great enemy of a gold miner. It's a silent thief that steals thousands of dollars every single hour.
You've got to be kidding me. This always happens.
With the machine broken, they weren't just failing to make money, they were actively losing it at a terrifying rate. The crew scrambled, working around the clock in freezing conditions to fix the damage, their hands numb, their frustration boiling over. Parker was facing a mechanical nightmare that threatened to turn his $80 million dream into a $15 million hole in the ground. But sometimes a breakdown can lead to an unexpected breakthrough. More gold than they could imagine. With Big Red finally patched up and roaring back to life, the moment of truth had arrived. The first loads of pay dirt from the legendary Widow's Cut were fed into the beast. For days, the crew had seen nothing but barren rock and frozen mud. Morale was at an all-time low. But then something incredible happened. As the first concentrates were washed into the sluice box, a color appeared that made everyone stop in their tracks. Gold. And not just a few specks. The bottom of the box was painted with it. The crew gathered around, their eyes wide. They had seen good cleanouts before, but this was different. This was on another level entirely. The $80 million theory was no longer just a theory. It was real, tangible, and sitting right in front of them. The ancient waterfall had acted like a natural sluice box over millennia, concentrating gold into a single, unbelievably rich deposit.
It's a huge accomplishment, you know? And it took everybody here. I just really want to thank you guys for the effort that you've put out.
They were pulling out ounces where they used to find grams. The first weigh-in was staggering. The second was even bigger. They were on a pay streak so rich that it was hard to comprehend. The crew's exhaustion and frustration evaporated, replaced by the electric thrill of the hunt. They were part of something historic. Parker's insane gamble was paying off in the most spectacular way imaginable. The numbers were mind-boggling. In a single week, they processed more gold than some mines see in an entire season. The gold kept coming, an endless river of yellow metal pouring from the frozen ground. Parker shattered his own personal records, then he shattered the records for the entire Klondike. He had found the mother lode, the jackpot that every miner spends their life dreaming about. He locked the gates to the mine, securing what he called a generational fortune from prying eyes. The news of his discovery sent shockwaves through the mining community. Parker Schnabel was no longer just the young prodigy, he was the undisputed king of the Klondike. But a find this big attracts unwanted attention and wild speculation. Debunking the myths of the gold rush. A success story as massive as Parker's doesn't happen without raising a few eyebrows. When the news of an $80 million haul hit the public, the whispers started almost immediately. Many people online began talking about the same old fan theory, producer's gold. This is the idea that the show's creators secretly salt the mine with gold flakes to guarantee dramatic weigh-ins for the cameras. It's a persistent myth that follows every successful reality mining show, a way for viewers to make sense of fortunes that seem too good to be true. So, let's take a look at that. Is it possible that this whole incredible discovery was just a perfectly scripted piece of television? The thing nobody tells you is that while reality TV producers are experts at creating drama, editing conversations, highlighting conflicts, and building suspense, faking a gold mine of this scale is practically impossible.
The final total was
7,381.
That is unreal. sets us up so well for the next few years.
The sheer logistics of secretly planting thousands of ounces of gold into solid permafrost, fooling a crew of experienced miners, and fabricating the complex geological data Parker used to find the spot would be a conspiracy of epic proportions. Furthermore, former cast members and industry experts have clarified that while interpersonal drama might be played up for the cameras, the mining itself is 100% real. The financial risks are real, the equipment breakdowns are real, and the gold is very, very real. But once you throw out that simple theory, you open the door to far more interesting and wilder possibilities. Let's dig a little deeper. Could it be that the $80 million figure wasn't just a discovery, but a carefully calculated move in a high-stakes game of Klondike chess? Here's where it gets really wild. Some speculate that the number was a strategic leak. In a world where miners are constantly fighting over the best land, announcing a find of that magnitude is like setting off a flare. It could be a power move to scare competitors away from adjacent claims or to attract the best of the best crew members for future seasons who want to work for a guaranteed winner. It could even be a way to massively inflate the value of his entire company for a potential future sale. Then there's the land deal itself. The show presents it as a simple lease, but the world of Alaskan mining claims is a tangled web of partnerships and backroom deals.
I've been in discussions with him about buying him out, and I just signed a deal today.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Another theory suggests the $80 million valuation was the key to unlocking a deal that was far more complex than we were shown. Was the landowner in on it? Was this number essential to securing massive loans from investors to fund an even bigger expansion? The truth is, that land has a history. Whispers connect the Widow's Cut to legends of a lost mine from the original gold rush, a place that appeared on old maps and then vanished. It makes you wonder if Parker found it with more than just LiDAR, perhaps an old diary or an anonymous tip that led him exactly where to look. And that brings us back to a more grounded but equally compelling question. Are we seeing the whole financial story? The $80 million in the ground is one thing, but how much of that does Parker actually keep? You see, the thing they don't break down for you on television is the brutal, unforgiving math of gold mining. Before Parker even pays for a single drop of fuel, a massive chunk of that treasure is already gone. Astronomical royalties to the landowner can be as high as 15 to 20%. On an $80 million find, that's a $16 million check he has to write to someone else. The number immediately shrinks. Then you have the hidden costs that are never part of the on-screen drama. Environmental laws require miners to perform land reclamation when they're done. This isn't just tidying up, it's a multi-million-dollar operation to recontour the earth and restore the ecosystem mandated by law. It's a silent killer of profits. Add to that the constant financial bleed of the operation itself.
Thanks for getting this done. It's a nice setup. I like the plan. And there's always going to be a few quirks to work out, but I like it so far.
The hundreds of thousands of dollars in fuel for a fleet of giant machines running around the clock, the massive payroll for a crew of highly paid specialists, and the payouts to the investors who fronted the money for his gamble in the first place. By the time all the bills are paid, Parker's take-home profit is a tiny fraction of that jaw-dropping headline number. This is where the story gets really interesting. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? When you watch these guys pull a fortune from the dirt, it feels like it all happens overnight. A sudden, dramatic discovery that changes everything. But is that how it really works? The real game isn't just played in the mud and permafrost, it's played on a spreadsheet. Could a find this big truly stay secret? Or is it possible that the biggest discovery wasn't finding the gold, but navigating the treacherous human element and the brutal financial reality that comes after? The truth is, we, the viewers, might only be seeing the tip of the iceberg, a carefully crafted story that leaves the most complicated and compelling details buried deep underground, just like the gold itself. But it leaves you with a controversial question. Does a single person deserve a fortune that was created by the earth over millions of years? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more incredible stories.